What if the cornerstone of an entire investigation was built on footage full of vanishing cars, invisible drivers, and time gaps no one can explain? This isn't conspiracy. This is the Lafayette Market video. Welcome back to the infamous ex-chief. If you're returning, you already know what this is. Real stories, real corruption, and a truth-first mission that doesn't flinch. And if you're new here, welcome to Tentacle Nation. This platform is where pro-police meets anti-corruption. We support the badge, but we expose the abuse. From rogue prosecutors and compromised judges to failed investigations and cover-ups. This is where the system gets held accountable, loudly and publicly. You can find the infamous ex-chief on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, and Rumble. However, you got here, so make sure you subscribe, follow, rate, and share, because the more voices we have, the louder we get, and the harder it becomes to ignore us. This isn't about drama. It's about justice, and Tentacle Nation doesn't stay quiet. Be loud, be heard, shake the system until the truth falls out. Hey, Tentacle Nation, we just hit 111 members on the Discord server. Let me pull it up here. And I mean, that's something to be proud of. This isn't just a fan group. This is a community of truth-seeking watchdogs and system shakers. Right now, we've got talk groups and dedicated case folders. Let me get to them here. You can see them down here below. Hopefully, if I can figure out where my mouse is here, all right? So these are general discussions. These are all text type discussions. When you click on there, okay, those are text. You can post some photos, explain what you're talking about. We have the case folders for Bryon Macron. We have a case discussion folder for Christian Olson and Don Pasella. And if you actually go down, these are case files. This is actually where you can come up and look at the public records request for yourself. There's been a lot of activity on Bryon Macron and Christian Olson. I'm still honestly waiting a little bit on Don Pasella, only because there's some photos in there that generally we don't get on public records. They're sort of graphic on her autopsy, and I'm still waiting to hear from the family or the family's representative to give me some guidance. I don't want to open that up yet until I get a little clarification from them. I just want to make certain that they're okay with the photos that are in there. There's also a voice chat down here under the break room. I honestly have not been in that, okay, but it's there. You can go in and have voice discussions anytime you like there. Anytime I post any type of links, YouTube, TikTok, they go into their rules. Very important here. Again, we're about finding out what happens. We definitely want to look at rule, protect privacy, no doxing or sharing private information like addresses, phone numbers, or personal identifiers. However, if information is part of the original official police reports or public records, it may be discussed. But let's use discretion here and keep the focus on the case, and let's not get into personal attacks. That's probably one of the most important rules that we have there. I have no issue of bantering, going back and forth, people talking about their own analysis, what's right, what's wrong. Just let's try to make certain that we're maintaining a level of respectfulness. And again, I have no issue bantering back and forth. So each of these cases deserve answers, and together we're going to dig up, and we're going to keep digging until we find them. Because here's the truth. Crimes don't unravel themselves. Justice takes a web of relentless minds, and this network, it's growing fast. So how to join? Right? I'm glad you asked. If you're not in Discord yet, it's free, it's easy, and it's where the real conversations happen. Just head to my one-stop shopping link, and let me bring it up. It's at the every one of my videos that I post, whether it's on YouTube, Rumble, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find the show, there is one link that points to all my contact information, which is here. All right. Again, I've showed this a couple of times. I just want to go back over it, make sure everybody understands. All right. I did sort of try to reorganize a little bit, put the icons on the top where you can see the show. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Apple Podcast links are here. And these are more ways that you can contact me, all right? So you've got Discord, which is what we're talking about right here. So if you click on the Discord button, it's going to launch right into this, right? And you just obviously accept the invite. I don't know what's going to happen because I'm already in there. But apparently it just launches me right in there. So, again, Discord button currently is this button here on the left. My email, if you ever want to email me, my Signal, which is encrypted communication. If you want to have a encrypted off-the-books conversation with me via text, you can hit me on my Signal here. And SpeakPipe is like a voicemail. You can leave me a voice message. All right. My old-fashioned mailing address I now put up there. If anybody wants to mail anything to me, I have gotten some challenge coins from some departments that have been coming in. All right, I put them up there. You're more than welcome to mail them, and then when you mail them in, I will be certain to recognize you. All right. So, tip submission sheet here. Okay, if you have any type of submission on the show, I just want to go over it again. I know I've gone over it before. I just want to make certain everybody understands. All right, all of this information, name, last name, phone number, email, that's all voluntary. You don't have to put anything in any of those fields. All right. If you do wish to be followed up with, or if I have the ability to follow up, you can check one of these: phone, email, no contact. All right. Please tell me at least what case you're talking about. If it's a case that we haven't covered yet, there's another form for that. I'll show you here in a second. These are for cases that I'm already looking at. Bryon Macron, Christian Olson, Don Pasella, all right? And you just put in what case you're looking at. Describe the information as best as you can for me, all right? How did you come across the information? Would you be willing to discuss it further? Yes, no, all right? And most important, you can actually attach files right here, supporting files here that will click, and you'll be able to attach files. I have external hard drives that always takes me a second to rotate through when I click something for my hard drive. If you want to attach something, you click on this button here. The most important thing is the confidentiality, please, at the bottom. I wish to remain completely anonymous. I am okay with being contacted privately, but do not want my name used publicly, or I'm okay with the name being associated with this. All right. Please make certain that you select one of those at the bottom. Again, all this other information at the top is voluntary. I obviously would like to have the ability to follow up with you if possible, and I think that I've shown the audience here that I am good. I have a lot of people talking to me, and again, if they don't want their information out there, it's not out there. So that's the tip submission sheet. If you're looking at, you want me to look at a different case that I'm not covering at this point, that's where you come down to submit a case to be considered. Now, this one has some of the similar information: first name, last name, email. All right. What would you like me to look at? What kind of case is it? Missing person, murder, suspicious death, government corruption, other. All right. Tell me as much as you can. Just put today's date and hit submit. All right. And these are just bigger buttons. This is the YouTube channel, Rumble channel, and this, and I still haven't gotten it in yet, so I'm a little reluctant now. I don't know why I don't have it yet, but I ordered a sample because there are two options here. One is to just basically buy me a cup of coffee, which is to send me straight money, which is fine. A lot of people have done this for me. I greatly appreciate it. And obviously that money goes to support the show. There is cost in the show, public records requests, mailings, filings, briefings. There is, the actual platform itself, the websites, things of that nature. There are costs. So I do appreciate the support that I'm getting very much. Also, the second option that I feel a little more comfortable with is I was trying to launch my first coffee mug. And I'm not exactly certain if I'm 100% happy with it. And so that's why I was waiting for the sample. I don't know the script be allowed to be heard down up here at the top. I was trying to make it wrap around, but I don't know if I liked the way that it turned out. But if you do want it, it's here. And at least this way, when you're spending money, donating money to the show and the platform, at least you're getting something tangible back, which I don't necessarily have a problem with. And plus, it's swag. It promotes the show. Lets all of your friends know that you're a supporter of the show, which I like. So anyways, getting back to our Discord conversation, if I can find it again. If you're here to help connect dots, share what you know, or just learn the real story behind the headlines, this is your space. So keep talking, keep questioning, keep shaking the system until the truth falls out. So originally, I was going to jump right into the Village Inn video and the Stevenson residence footage, but I've decided to stick to, somewhat more of a chronological order, at least as much as I can, because that's where the flaws really start to show. So instead of diving into those two key moments just yet, we're going to begin actually at the Lafayette Market. Then we'll fast forward and skip over the Village Inn for now. Why? Glad you asked, because there are some details around the time frame I want to tighten up before we tackle it properly. And there's actually some people that I'm really hoping that I can talk with prior to talking about the Village Inn video. There are some things that occurred around that time frame that I really would like to tighten up and speak with some people relative to it. So I'm hoping that happens. And so I'm slow rolling the Village Inn video, even though it actually technically comes prior to the Stevenson video. So now remember, my focus is to show you that the timeline released to the public was flawed. I'm going to walk you through how they built that timeline, where it doesn't hold up, and why relying on the Lafayette Market video as a cornerstone was a huge mistake. First of all, there are portions of that video where the vehicles appear and then they suddenly vanish without any continuity or explanation. There's also the much bigger issue, the vehicle that pulls up to the Lafayette administration building. Let's not pretend we can positively identify that it's Bryon Macron's car. And even if we do accept that it's his car, we still can't confirm who was actually driving it. Then there's the access road that we've talked about. It's the road behind the administration building. That road could have allowed vehicles to come and go completely unseen. And folks, let's be honest. If someone's planning to do something nefarious, would they really use the main entrance in plain sight? I mean, it's not likely. There are also missed opportunities. There's Cloverleaf school buses that appear at both the administration building and the Stevenson residence, and these buses may have had cameras. The drivers, let's face it, man, those bus drivers are typically observant people. Might have seen something. But to this day, it's unclear whether anyone followed up, whether any of that footage exists, or if any of those drivers were ever interviewed. And speaking of the Stevenson residence, we're going to touch on that too, just not yet, but I will say this. There was way more foot traffic and video traffic on that footage than the Medina County Sheriff's Office originally reported. Joggers, walkers, repeated pass-bys. It could be the same person or different ones, but there's a lot more activity than was originally reported by the Medina County Sheriff's Department. So back to Bryon's vehicle, there were receipts inside. One from December 15th stands out, and that day is critical for establishing a baseline timeline. But again, was never fully investigated. At least I don't think so. There was nothing ever followed up relative to that receipt. There's a date and time. It's actually, I believe, McDonald's that gives us a good base time. I believe early in the morning. Never even looked at. It should have been something. And again, if at that point they're thinking that Bryon's missing, so wouldn't you want to go and look and see the video at the McDonald's? See if anybody else is with him. Seeing if there's any other vehicles following his vehicle. These are all standard things that you would be doing in a missing persons investigation that were never done, at least to my knowledge. So then there's a new piece of the puzzle, of Verizon cell phone tower dump I just got my hands on. And oddly enough, the authorities only requested data for a single hour. So December 16th from 6 to 7 a.m. and only from one tower, just one. And it's southeast of the lake. So why such a narrow window? So this is not up on Discord yet. This is a record drop that the Medina County Sheriff's Department gave me on 3/28. And again, a lot of it is duplicative. Is that a word? Duplicating previous requests that they've already given me, or previous material that they've already given me. They still haven't even given me a full file. They just keep sending me the same stuff over and over again. So I have to dig in essentially and see if there's actually anything new. And I was able to find this new document called the cell tower dump. So I'll bring it up while we're talking about it. So again, it is referencing one specific cell tower, which is a Verizon cell tower, and it was a tower dump, and it's at the intersection of Lake Road and Reed Road in Chippewa Lake, Ohio. Well, that's the closest Verizon cell tower. I'm sorry, I apologize. I will bring up here in a second the map where the actual cell tower is located, but they're looking at this intersection of Lake and Reed Road on December 16th between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. right here. All right. For whatever reason, only 1 hour. And again, it's only for Verizon, which is odd because, again, even the victim, Bryon's cell phone, is an AT&T carrier. So why are they looking for Verizon on December 16th between 6 and 7? Not exactly certain. All right. All right, so we pulled it up on the map here just so everybody can understand. So the search warrant is for a Verizon tower that's going to be closest to this area right here, Lake and Reed Road, which is primarily where the Village Hall is located in Chippewa Lake. Just for those that aren't familiar with the area, the lake is back here. All right. I don't know if they're just looking for the center point of Chippewa Lake, but again, it's even more mysterious because it's just Verizon. And again, Verizon isn't going to pick up any other carrier other than Verizon. It has to be a cell phone provision to run on Verizon for the Verizon tower dump to pick it up. And again, it's noteworthy. It's noteworthy that Bryon's phone was AT&T. So why such a narrow window? And why just that one tower? So what were they really looking for? I have no idea. Either they were looking for something specific or completely ignorant to the fact of how to use a cell phone dump to find information as to why they just chose one tower, one network, Verizon, and 1 hour from 6 a.m. till 7 p.m. Total mystery to me. If anybody knows, you're more than welcome to drop it in the comments. Send it to me. I'd love to really honestly hear. I hope one of the original investigators tears me apart. I hope I hope they say, hey, you are such a moron. This is what we were doing. I'm hoping to hear it. I don't think I'm going to, but I'm hoping it's going to happen. All of this brings us back to the Lafayette Market video. That's where we're starting, and I'm going to show you how unreliable and frankly negligent it was for BCI and the Medina County Sheriff's Office to lean on this footage as the backbone of their timeline. Watch with me, pay attention, and if I'm wrong, if you can clearly see that it's Bryon's car, then you can see that Bryon's behind the wheel, then you call me out. I don't think you will, but call me out if you see it. All right, so we're going to start off with the Lafayette Market video. And what I'm displaying to you here is a timeline. And generally, let me step back for a second, all right? So generally, this would be something that law enforcement would complete, all right? It gives quick reference to anybody else that would come along on the investigation or important things. If this ever went to trial or court for any reason, even subpoenas, search warrants, these are things that the court want to see. And again, to my knowledge, this was never completed. Nothing that Medina County Sheriff's Department that has given me, or BCI even for that matter, has given me, I do not see any type of timeline like this. Now, they do have specific times that they reference where they feel things happened. But again, this is a timeline, and generally how you would perform a timeline, all right? So these are the events, these are the actual file numbers, the times, and a brief description essentially of what you're observing, all right? Now, I didn't get ultra detailed, attempting to identify what kind of cars there were. There were a lot of cars. They're going back and forth. And so initially when you do this part of the investigation, you're just wanting to basically document things. Now, it may become relevant at some point during the investigation to go back and start looking at and documenting specific cars. Hey, this is a Ford, Taurus at this time. But at this point, I'm just basically trying to document activity that I'm seeing. All right. You will see some of the notes here that I have. I just started labeling them mid-screen. All right. And this is and another thing that's sort of important to note, my UTC times do not exactly match their UTC times for the times that they actually did report and activity that they observed. I don't know exactly why that is. I've checked my figures several times. I believe my times to be accurate. I don't know why their times are different, but I thought it was important to note. Maybe I am wrong somehow. I don't know. I've checked my math on UTC several times. It's a 5-degree variance, so I don't know exactly why their times aren't completely matching up. But anyways, so giving this instance of 12:11 and 42 seconds a.m., you'll see vehicle 1 is almost at the stop sign westbound on Wedgwood Road, waiting for a passing vehicle, and then turning southbound onto Lafayette. So why I've notated this mid-screen is at, again, the same time, you're seeing vehicle 2, a second vehicle, is traveling southbound on Lafayette Road. And a lot of times, these cars are just disappearing. They're disappearing off the screen because I think that they are what I am referring to as event-driven, meaning I believe that they are just set up for motion in the parking lot. Now, full disclosure, I did attempt to speak with the owner of the Lafayette Market. I spoke with several of the attendants, left my information, because I just wanted to clarify how these cameras were set up at that time. I believe that they were motion activated. There are a lot of gaps on a time as I was completing this timeline. There was a lot of gaps that were not recorded. So I don't think that they were continuously recording, and I think that they were being tripped somehow, either by infrared or motion. And I think it was mostly towards their parking lot. So the traffic that's going, was it north and south, I think? Yes, the traffic going north and south on Lafayette, I believe, is what's actually triggering, because it's probably closer to the parking lot, and so it's triggering that recording. But the traffic that's actually going east and west on Wedgwood, which is where the Lafayette Administration building is on, I don't think that the recording is necessarily picking it up all the time. It may be picking it up in some instances, mainly because there's a lot of traffic going north and south on Wedgwood. So you'll see cars passing back, and I think that you're just essentially seeing the recording on Wedgwood because of the passing cars going back and forth on Lafayette Road. But here are my key points that I picked up, and again, I have the complete timeline here, but these are the parts at the top. I forgot that I'm not screening or showing my screen. I have timelines. All right, but these are the things that I felt were important. So I have all the timeline below, and then I have this portion out where I have entered things, and these are the things that I am going to bring up here on this video. Again, all of the video for the Lafayette Market is on the Discord server, and it has been converted so that you can simply click each one of those is an event. And again, they're all down here labeled, these event, which are the file names. You're more than welcome to go onto the Discord. Again, I'm all about ultra transparency. I'm not trying to guide the conversation without having some sort of evidence to back it up. These are the key times and events that I observe things, and some of them may not necessarily be key to me, but they were key to the investigation, so I wanted to make certain that we discussed them. But this is what we're going to be going over, these top portion events, and why I think that they're important. And I'm going to show you how it was completely flawed. It was completely flawed by investigators to follow the timeline from this video. And again, it's okay to use it as part of your investigation, but to actually use it as a concrete timeline of Bryon's activity is insane to me. You can't even tell me that it is Bryon's vehicle. So how are you relying on this data? It's completely insane to me, but we're going to go over it here in a second. So the first couple of clips here that I'm just showing you, these are not on the timelines that I had up there, but I just want to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the camera. We've actually shown photographs of this camera in previous episodes, like where it is physically on the building. And it's obviously looking at the parking lot. These are the gas pumps here. All right. So like in this clip here, you'll see a car that's coming up to the stop sign from Wedgwood. Now again, the drive is approximately right in here. I thought I could draw in here, but it's not letting me draw. The drive to the administration building is somewhere like in here. And as you can see, this car, obviously, this is the beginning of the clip. The car is already past. It might be parallel. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But it looks like it's past the actual drive. And it's just now picking up the recording. All right. These are just some examples of weird things that I observed when I was reviewing this. Again, where did this car come from? We have no idea, honestly. You know, it just appeared midway on Wedgwood Road there, and we don't know where it came from. I want to find one of the what I have labeled as mid-screen events. So this is an interesting one because this actually appears to be a police cruiser. All right, so what you're going to see, this is, let me go back here. Let me shrink the screen so everybody can see. So this is the file name here if anybody wants to find it. All right, just, again, complete transparency. All right, so you can see this, it's right here, this vehicle here. So you got vehicle 1. It appears to be a Sheriff's Department vehicle. I'll tell you why I think it's a Sheriff's Department vehicle. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm going to tell you why I'm more inclined to believe it is in a second. But it's traveling northbound on Lafayette. It turns eastbound on Wedgwood Road here, and the video stops, and the vehicle disappears. And in the distance, you can see a second vehicle traveling westbound on Wedgwood, and you see it just by its headlights. So let's So then you'll see vehicle 2 just appears to be traveling westbound on Wedgwood. No sight of vehicle 1. Vehicle 2 turns southbound on Lafayette Road. All right, so here we go. This is the vehicle that's turning. Now, the reason I think, and again, folks in Medina County can actually maybe help me out, all right? Most of the time, the sheriff's department are the ones that have the yellow embossed. I'm assuming that's probably either going to be their website or Medina County Sheriff's. They generally are the ones that have it on their bumper areas here. I'm assuming it's going to be a website. This is why I think this is a sheriff department vehicle. And again, this is at 12:20 a.m. All right, but so we're going to roll back and watch it in its entirety here. Okay, so the vehicle turns, and hopefully I can see. All right, so I rolled it back. Vehicle turns. Now I want you to tell me if you can see this other vehicle that's driving up Wedgwood at this point. Where does it actually appear? Okay, you see the headlights right here. Okay, so again, I think it's event driven towards the Lafayette Road only because it's closest to the parking lot. But you can see headlights way in the back right here. All right, and again, we're at 5 seconds of the video down here. All right, now watch. Boom. Both vehicles pretty much disappear. So we're at 5 seconds. This vehicle, which I believe, again, I could be inaccurate. I believe it to be a sheriff's department vehicle is here. It turned onto Wedgwood. You have this vehicle way up the road here. We're at 5 seconds. Now that's 6 seconds. Both vehicles have disappeared. Both vehicles have disappeared at 6 seconds. And again, don't take my word for it. Find this file and look for it yourself. There are multiple examples of exactly what I'm pointing out here. And I just want to tie up so much bandwidth here on our episode. There are multiple events like this where vehicles are disappearing. So we're going to roll it back all the way from the front. I'm going to let it play all the way through. But as you can see, at 6 seconds, both vehicles disappear. And then all of a sudden, boom, the vehicle that was way down the road here appears right here at the stop sign after 6 seconds. I'm going to let it roll all the way through this time. And I'm just pointing out, again, you don't see that vehicle coming up Wedgwood until it's already past the administration driveway, which I think is a key factor. All right, folks, I just wanted to come back here real quick. I didn't realize until I just went to post editing on this, that when I go to full screen, it's cutting off the very top portion of the video. And I just wanted, I don't want to lose the first portion that I just went through. There was a lot of good information, but I want to show you the video all the way through just so you understand. I am going to stop and pause it at 1 second just to show you what I'm talking about relative to the what I believe the markings on the back of this car that I think is a sheriff's department vehicle. All right, so I'm going to stop it here. All right, so I'm talking about right here. It's sort of hard to see, but there is some yellow writing on the back, which generally is the website that I was talking about of the sheriff's department. All county sheriff's department essentially have that on the back towards the bumper of the vehicle. I just wanted to stop and pause it there. Again, we're at 2 seconds here. I'm going to go to about 5 seconds. At 5 seconds, you're going to see this vehicle. It's way down here, and I'm assuming, looking at other vehicles, it's close to like Buffum Road, way down here. I think it's Buffum Road. When everything starts disappearing. So I'm going to get to 5 seconds. All right. So at 5 seconds, you see the vehicle light come up. 5 seconds, maybe actually 6 seconds. It's real quick. Where'd it go? There it goes. All right. Hopefully you see it. The light is way down here, Buffum Road. So I'm going to roll it back, let it all right through. But just so you understand, at about 6 seconds here, obviously, all the vehicles disappear. All right. So and then eventually this vehicle reappears that's coming down Wedgwood after it goes past the driveway of the administration building. So I'm just quickly showing you that this video is not meant to be a cornerstone of a timeline like it's being used for. So here we go. Let it roll all the way through. So that is one of the issues, and I apologize if you're out in Apple Podcast or Buzzsprout land, because for one, this is going to be a very tough video for you to follow along, because obviously it's a lot of the video, and number two, you don't get the corrections I make on screen. So it's not Buffum Road, it's Ballish Road. And just a little side note, that Lafayette administration building, all right, I'm very familiar with it. All right, the baseball field and even Ballish Road. All right, so the 1986 used to play on that baseball field. Coach Randy Myers. Somewhere right there. All right, so I'm actually very familiar with that complex, that area. A lot of people have made comments about outsiders. I actually grew up there. Very, very familiar. So right here, Lafayette, and some folks a little confused how it's spelled. It's Lafayette. It's after a famous person, all right? In case nobody knows the history there. Lafayette. Some of the locals currently today don't know how that's spelled. All right, we're going to dive into some of this video here we have again. And again, we've got this timeline here that I have the times notated. So this is going to require quite a bit of post-production editing here. So we're going to start. There's nothing significant in my mind. Again, you're more than welcome. Everything is on Discord. There's nothing in my mind, but we're going to start at 1:50 because that is when the authorities who are investigating this, Medina County Sheriff's Department and BCI, concur that Bryon's vehicle is entering the administration building at 1:50 a.m., and I'll let you decide what you think. So what we're going to do here, folks, there's a video before, and this this video is at about 1:45, I believe. 1:45 in the morning. All right, so this is the video before 1:45. I'll play that. It's 11-second clip of a vehicle going across, or I'm sorry, two vehicles going across Lafayette Road. Now, again, back in here, you can see or not see any vehicles coming up Wedgwood. All right, so this ends that clip, that motion, that, again, what I keep referring to is that event was tripped by motion. So we're going to go to the very next file, and it's going to be very quick. All right, so now we're at 1:50. All right, it's a 3-second clip, and I'll play it a couple times. It's going to be really quick. A vehicle pulling into the administration building, but you'll have at least a reference of where the administration building drive is. All right, hopefully you saw it. Let me play it again. Now, can anybody tell me that was Bryon's vehicle? I'm going to play it in slow motion. We're going to break this down, right? Give it all the benefit of the doubt. All right. We're going to full screen it right here. Take me off. We're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to take this to half speed. And you can see the vehicle right here. Right there. Right there. Right. And we're going to push it forward at half speed. And we're done. We're going to take it down as slow as this will allow us. 0.2 speed. 0.2 speed. We're going to roll this back. I don't know. What are your thoughts, folks? Is that Bryon's vehicle? It's possible. Anything's possible, I guess. Could be any vehicle, right? So that's the 150 on the timeline that they are identifying as Bryon's vehicle pulling in to the administration building, right? So, they're basically saying, hang on, let's go to the next full file. They're saying 150.56. It keeps going. I don't know if that was what we were watching. Let's go to the next file, see what it is. 6-second clip. Oh, I don't see anything. So they were apparently they're attributing again everything to this 3-second clip, which is playing right now at 0.2 speed. That's Bryon's vehicle that entered the parking lot. All right. So what's our next event? All right, so I just actually realized, and I apologize. I was looking at my notes, and I don't know how that happened. But it's saying Ridgewood Road. That should be obviously Wedgwood Road. I don't know how that happened when I copied and pasted. But our next event here is this. The authorities, for whatever reason, noted. At 6 a.m., a black SUV is seen entering the Lafayette Market parking lot. The driver exits the vehicle and enters the store. The driver is described as a lone Caucasian male, not Bryon Macron. This was included in the report to counteract rumors that it was Macron. I don't know. There's actually two. This video starts at 5:55. I have noted 5:55:30. We'll see when this vehicle comes in. I'm assuming my notes is when I saw the vehicle. We'll see. I'm not sure why I have that note 5:55:30. Is that the name of the... Oh, that might be the name of the file. I just want to roll that back. Like this... Again, the motion obviously is by the... Or the recording is obviously by the motion that's occurring. So, as you can see, there's somebody in the parking lot, so that's why we're constantly recording during this time. That's what I was trying to... So you have this... What's really weird... You've got that vehicle that passes. Just trying to show you the inconsistencies of this video itself. Sort of weird. Where'd it go? So watch the traffic on Lafayette Road. You got one vehicle passing, one vehicle turning. All right. So once this vehicle turns, I want you to watch, because the guy's still in the parking lot. It's sort of weird. All right. So watch, this vehicle's going to turn on Wedgwood, and then boom, there's a vehicle that comes out of nowhere, comes out of nowhere. It's out of space on Lafayette Road. Again, just showing you the total inconsistency of this recording. So again, you can see up here, this vehicle is turning onto Wedgwood. And it'll sort of drop off completely. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see this car right here. You don't even see it like coming down Lafayette Road on this recording. It just, bam, appears. Bam. Just appears out of nowhere. Again, but we're relying on this as the cornerstone of our timeline when vehicles are mysteriously appearing and vanishing out of nowhere. Sort of odd to me how anyone could possibly say that this was a good cornerstone for a timeline. And I'm just playing this all through because I don't want anybody to accuse me of doctoring anything. And again, this is on Discord. All right. The file number is up there on the left corner there. Anybody can download or not. I'm sorry, I do have it prohibited from downloading. But anybody can go to Discord and view this file. I'm assuming this is the vehicle here. It looks like a Chevy Equinox. I'm assuming that that's why they specifically wanted to point this out, that this is not Bryon Macron. All right. So again, we're at 5:55 in the morning. All right. So let's go to the next. What's our next key point of reference? It's going to be at 6:19. That's when a vehicle pulls in to the administration building and just sort of sits there. Sits there for about 5 minutes, and it's where a school bus passes. So again, had investigators been doing their job, well, let me cue up the video. All right, so we're at the point where there's a vehicle that pulls into the administration drive, and you're going to see it pull in. It won't go very far up the drive, but they have determined that they do not feel that anybody has gotten out of this vehicle. This is about 6:14 in the morning. So I'm going to play it. It's about 3 minutes long, 3 minutes and 6 seconds, I think. 3 minutes, 6 seconds. It's 2 minutes and 58 seconds. I'm going to play it all the way through. And what I also want you to pay attention to is there's a bus, a cloverleaf bus, that passes right by. And they spend quite a bit of time trying to find who this driver is, whether they might be a mail delivery driver, a newspaper delivery driver, a water delivery person. They have like all sorts of theories and people that they're trying to contact, and yet you have a school bus that passes right by. And again, I don't know, I haven't verified yet if Cloverleaf school buses in 2016 had cameras on the buses or not. It would be great if somebody has that knowledge that can drop it in a comment. But we're gonna let this play through. And sort of pay attention to vehicles appearing, disappearing also. I think this is one of those videos where, there's some skippage of vehicles. The vehicle pulling up there on Wedgwood just sort of appeared out of nowhere. So it's going to be this. There's a second vehicle on Wedgwood right there. I think the lights, yeah, you can see it skipping a couple of times there. I think this is the vehicle that pulls into the drive. I want to make sure that I got that. So this vehicle that's pulling up here, you're going to see headlights on Wedgwood. right? This parked vehicle is still there. Watch this vehicle. Bam! All right, I want to make sure because I think I muted my mic. All right, let me roll this back again. But here we've determined somehow that nobody has gotten out of this vehicle, even though it's not recording in real time. We have no idea what this person is doing in this vehicle for over 5 minutes. So again, watch there. Not this vehicle on Wedgwood. Now, mind you, this vehicle is still sitting here. There's going to be headlights coming up. Where are my headlights? Headlights, and watch where this vehicle skips to. Was that the vehicle? So this vehicle is still sitting here in the parking lot. It's stationary. Watch the headlights here. And bam! You see that? How the vehicle it's past the drive. So you can't tell me you know what this vehicle is sitting here parked is doing. It's not recording in real time, folks. But you're going to see a school bus here in a second. It's going to turn on to Wedgwood, and that would have made an excellent witness. And possibly cameras. Again, I don't know if anybody is from the area in 2016. Did Cloverleaf have school buses? Did they have cameras? I don't know. But here it is. It's coming and it's turning, and this car is still parked over there. You can barely see the headlights there. And again, this car could be nothing. It could be nothing whatsoever. But my point is you can't determine, and that's not me, that's apparently my internet slowing down, or Google or something. Oh, somehow we did. Apparently I did. All right, we're back to it not. Okay, again, that vehicle just totally skipped my whole point. You don't know what's happening. It's not recording in real time. You have no idea what this car is doing. It may not be doing anything nefarious, but you have no idea. You can't use this as a timeline. You can't say nobody got in or out of that vehicle. You can't do it. School bus is coming. If anybody from Medina County does Cloverleaf, do they have cameras in 2016 on their school buses? If not, still doesn't matter. Because that bus driver is probably trying to figure out why that car is there, right? And if they had been asked this day, they probably would have been able to at least identify the car, what kind of car it was. Almost guarantee it. School bus drivers are very observant, especially if nobody's normally in that parking lot this early in the morning. They're probably going to see it. So the vehicle's still there. Another bus, right? Second bus. Vehicle's still there. Still parked. All right, we're going to go to the next video. Go to the next video. All right, so before we get into this last event, this last video, a couple things I need to make perfectly clear. All right, so the videos, again, are on Discord. You're more than welcome to review them. You can magnify it as big as you want on your home screen, all right? If you're able to see Bryon, or even see that it's Bryon's vehicle, please feel free to smash me in the comments. This video, they only took the times. Again, brilliant Medina County Sheriff's Department. Brilliant Medina County Sheriff's Department takes from 12:01 a.m. to 6:42 a.m. 12:01 to 6:42. Why? I have no idea. I swear, Cartwright talks about talking to that counselor about, why Bryon is using his Amex card. I think we brought that up. Yeah, right? No, we haven't. I'm sorry. We haven't. I don't think we've gotten there yet. Have we? I don't know. I feel like I need to speak to that counselor myself because I'm feeling like I am just in the twilight zone with this case. They pull this video from 12:01 to 6:42. So they're saying that it's his vehicle leaving at 6:26. All right, so I'm assuming that's going to be their logic. Well, he left. No reason we need any more video than that. We don't see anybody arriving. We don't see anybody arriving on scene. We don't see Rick Evans. We don't see Mike Costello. We don't see, as I'm told, the multitudes of people, including civilians, just wandering around in the crime scene. We don't see that because the video was never pulled. All right, so we're going to see the vehicle that's stationary that pulled in. We're going to see on this next clip, it's going to pull out and have its hazard lights on. And it's going to go in the same direction that the supposed Macron car goes, just moments afterwards. You've got the stationary vehicle that's been sitting there for about 5 minutes, pulls out, puts its hazards on, and goes down the road. And then you have Bryon Macron's supposed vehicle pull out and pretty much follow this vehicle. I'm going to leave it for you to determine the relevance or the possible relevance of that. Let's bring up this video. All right, we're at the beginning. It's about 2 minutes. All right, so the vehicle has pulled out. I don't know if you can see. And I'm wondering if I missed it. Maybe it pulled out on the... hang on, let's go back. Did it pull out at the very end here? Or do you just not see it pull out? No, it's definitely still there. Right here. I can't see. Was that the bus's taillights? That, just sort of magically... You got the bus there. And there's a big skip. Hang on. We got to figure this out, folks. Hang on. Because this is going to bug me here. Where's the last frame that we can see? All right, I'm going to try to blow this up. I can't really... Yeah, I think the vehicle's still there. Oh. Well, it either pulled out there... I don't think it pulled out there because when you start this vehicle up, or when you start this video up, you're going to see it with its tail lights flashing. Right? Right here. It's going down the road with its tail lights flashing. And then at some point, you're going to see the supposed Bryon Macron's vehicle pulling out. And once we see it pulling out, we'll try to magnify on that area, just so that we can say that we've done everything. I'm just letting it play so nobody says that I'm doctoring anything. Another vehicle just skips. See, watch this, folks. So you see his car pulling out right here. But look at this car. Let's rewind just a little bit. Car with the headlights. It's way down here and then pop. Right there. All right. All right. So what we're going to do. What we're going to do is I'm going to magnify. Actually, I can't do. Or I'm going to go back. I'm going to put it at 0.2 speed. right? Roll this back. We're going to magnify. We're going to hit play, hopefully. All right, so we are at 0.2 speed. That's why it's going slow. So, okay, bam. You see the headlights coming out right here. All right, so I'm zoomed in as far as I can on my computer. Zoomed in as far as I can on my computer. Can you see what kind of vehicle that is? I don't know. And you can see it turning down Wedgwood. Again, going in the same direction that the other vehicle. And obviously, you know, it's a statistic thing, I guess. I mean, the other vehicle, it's a 50-50 chance which way it's going to turn out, right? I mean, it's probably not 50-50. It came from that way, so it's probably going to return that way. Another bus. All right, so let's go back one more time from this screen. We're still at 0.2 speed. That's why we're going so slow. That vehicle, there he is. There it is. Full screen, there it is, folks. Again, I mean, my eyes are definitely not the best. I'm gonna just roll this back here as I'm talking. Roll it back. My eyes are not the best. Maybe you can see. Is it his vehicle? Let me know. Drop it in the comments below. But I don't think it is. All right, so we have recapped. This is the Lafayette Market vehicle. Again, pulled from 12:01 p.m. to 12:01 a.m. to 6:42 a.m. And nothing after. Nothing before. We have the dump, the cell phone dump. Verizon for 1 hour between 6 and 7 and Chippewa Lake when the victim's phone is AT&T. So are we looking at someone with a Verizon phone? I don't know. Were they looking at something with a Verizon phone? I have no idea. I don't think so. I think that they were just that ignorant. But I'll leave it up to you to decide. All right, folks. That's going to wrap it up for this segment. Make sure if you haven't watched prior, there's going to be links over here for previous videos. Make sure you check them out. All right. And make sure you go on the Discord. Until next week.